The sun hadn't even risen when I stepped outside, half asleep, only to find the space where my car had been empty. My chest tightened, my mind raced. Tow truck lights faded in the distance, and I realized it had happened. For years, that spot had been mine. Safe, predictable, no warnings, no fines, nothing. Until Karen. She was standing across the street, arms folded, sunglasses hiding her smug expression. "Oh, good morning," she said with that unnerving calm. "Your vehicle was in violation." I froze. My car, my lifeline, my father's hospital visits, my freedom, gone. Which rule did I break? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Karen held up a freshly printed notice. Visitor overflow zone. Temporary HOA enforcement update. No overnight parking here anymore. Temporary. Printed that morning. No warning. No call. Just gone. I tried to explain. My father had surgery. I'd been out late. I was exhausted. She smiled wider. Should have planned better, she said, turning away. The tow cost nearly $600, money I didn't have. I walked 2 miles to the tow yard, humiliation heavier than the wallet. But that was just the beginning. Over the next weeks, fines came like clockwork. Trash bins, doormats, lawn height, even minor decorations. Each notice slid under my door like a threat, each more ridiculous than the last. Neighbors whispered. Everyone had a Karen story, but no one dared challenge her. And tell me. Because before my life went sideways, before my mom passed, before my father got sick, I had worked in heavy logistics. Oversized vehicles, tank transports, city permits, infrastructure. And then, by pure coincidence, an email appeared, a decommissioned armored vehicle, 30 tons, scheduled for transport to a museum. And the approved route, right through Karen's beloved Wall Street. The only access road. I made calls, verified permits, coordinated with city authorities. Everything legal, everything above board. Weeks passed. Then, one quiet morning, the ground began to vibrate. Dogs barked, neighbors came outside, and a massive gray tank transporter emerged at the mouth of our street, rumbling forward. And it stopped. Completely. Blocking the entire road. Cars trapped. Delivery trucks halted. School buses stranded. The only exit locked. Karen came running, screaming. "You can't park that here. Private property." The driver calmly handed her a clipboard. City permits. Oversized load inspection. Delay estimated 6 hours. The police arrived. Checked paperwork. Nodded. There was nothing she could do. 6 hours. Locked in. Children waiting for school pickups. Deliveries delayed. Ambulances rerouted. Every single neighbor knew who was behind it. Karen turned, spotting me quietly on my porch. Her face contorted in rage. "You did this." I simply nodded. Rules are rules. The HOA meeting 2 weeks later was explosive. Residents shared stories. Unfair fines, harassment, selective enforcement. By the end, Karen was voted out. The city fined the HOA for improper emergency planning. The tow company severed all ties. Karen moved out months later, quietly. And my car, it still parks in the same spot. Every night. Safe. Legal. Untouched. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it arrives in the form of 30 tons of silent steel. Car still parked in the same spot. The calm feeling on my porch was only temporary. Karen wasn't gone forever. She was stubborn, and the HOA board still had a few allies who wanted to maintain her rules. The next morning, I woke up to find a new notice slid under my door. This time it wasn't just a fine, it was a threat. Continued non-compliance may result in legal action and vehicle seizure. I laughed quietly to myself. She had no idea what was coming. Over the next few days, I spent every spare moment researching and preparing. I revisited old city permits, traffic regulations, and previous oversized vehicle transports. Every detail mattered. Every technicality could be leveraged. By now, I was practically living in a spreadsheet, planning every move. Meanwhile, Karen continued her harassment. She personally inspected the street multiple times, handing out notices to neighbors who were friendly to me, trying to intimidate them. But her energy was starting to crack. People noticed her obsession and began questioning her motives. Whispers spread. Tension built. Then came the day of execution. Early morning, before most residents woke, I coordinated with the transport company. Every document was ready, every permit verified, and every precaution taken. The tank, massive and immovable, rolled quietly through the main entrance of the HOA. Neighbors peeked through blinds as the vehicle approached. Karen, seeing it, bolted from her house in a designer robe, phone in hand, screaming into it before she even got close. "You cannot do this. That's illegal," she shouted, running down the street. The driver of the transport vehicle remained calm, politely showing the city-issued permit and inspection documents. Police were already on site as a precaution, verifying everything. Karen's protests were ignored. The massive vehicle moved forward and stopped dead in the middle of the only road, completely blocking access. The effects were immediate. Mail trucks turned around. Delivery vans stalled. Children waited for school buses that could no longer enter the neighborhood. Frustration spread across the community like wildfire, but this time, it was directed at Karen. She had created the rules that now trapped everyone. Hours passed. Neighbors began filming from their windows. Phones lit up with videos of the tank, Karen screaming in the background, and the calm man, me, standing on my porch, arms crossed, observing. Each video went viral within our little community. By midday, the HOA board convened an emergency session. They realized the situation wasn't just inconvenient, it was a liability. Lawyers were called. Officials inspected permits. And slowly, one by one, Karen's supporters began withdrawing their defense. Throughout it all, I maintained my distance. I didn't shout, I didn't threaten, I didn't gloat. My victory was in the immobility of the tank, in the legal correctness of the move, and in the chaos of her own making. Finally, after 6 long hours, the vehicle moved, following the pre-approved exit route. Karen, defeated, slumped against the sidewalk, looking pale and speechless. The neighbors, once intimidated, now felt a collective relief. Murmurs of, "Finally," and, "She deserved it," filled the street. The HOA meeting that evening was decisive. Karen was removed permanently from her position, her fines invalidated, and a secondary emergency exit plan was approved to prevent future incidents. As for me, I returned to my porch once again, watching the sunset over the street. My car remained untouched, parked in its rightful spot. And finally, I felt a sense of peace, not just for me, but for the neighborhood that had silently suffered under her rule for years. The tank incident became a legend. Children told their parents about the day the street stood still. Neighbors still smile and wave as they pass my driveway, sharing secret glances that say, "We remember who stood up for us." Justice had been delivered, not with noise or anger, but with precision, patience, and the law on my side. And for once, HOA Karen learned that control and arrogance could be stopped, even in a suburban street where everyone thought she ruled without challenge.